This is the lecture on predator prey. And so what we're going to do is talk about some of the things that prey organisms will do to uh, protect themselves from predators. So here we have a picture of some zebra coming up to a water hole, and then a crocodile obviously trying to attack. And you can see them all kind of jumping out of the way. So what we want to do is look at how these behaviors came into being. So what we want you to know is there is no perfect way of adapting. And then we see these bizarre behaviors and things that do happen. So here we have a sea turtle eating a plastic bag. That's not good. Because what they typically eat, this species will eat sea jellies or jellyfish, in which you know them as, although they're technically sea jellies. So what happens is they don't recognize the difference. On the bottom one, we see a cuckoo being fed by some kind of songbird. And again, we talked about the mafia bird idea and the brood parasitism. And then on the bottom, we have an example of the bat and the moth, both kind of listening to signals and trying to capture and or avoid one another in this game. So what I want you to understand is there is no perfect evolved species. So the constraints on being perfect are the failure of appropriate mutations. You don't mutate in the right direction. The genes don't change. So we don't bring on new ways of dealing with stuff. When sea turtles were evolving, plastic bags were not an option and weren't even around. So they have not evolved the ability to tell apart a plastic bag from a sea jelly. So there's one example. Pleiotropy. Want you to know that word. It means one gene can have multiple effects. So what could happen is as things evolve, the gene might make you want to feed the bird that's begging the most with the widest mouth. So there's lots of different factors there. The problem is the songbird does not realize that is not its bird, or it does. We're not really sure what the bird is thinking, and afraid of being killed by or at least the other babies being killed by the parent. So it is possible that a gene mutates in the right direction, but there's a series of other things that come along with it that may not be adaptive. And then the last one, the coevolution we talked about with these guys evolving. So I want you to think about, again, the red queen hypothesis, that there is always this rush and fight to evolve, to become better in survival mode, trying to survive. Now, predators are changing, the prey is changing, and the minute you stop, you lose the race. All right, so I want to look at the evolution of two defenses. They're kind of unique, very similar to each other, but they're in two different groups. This first one is an anti-predator defense, and these are polychaete worms, and these are kind of related to the earthworms, but they have these little side feet on them called parapodia. Actually, these are more common than earthworms, believe it or not, but most of these are marine or soil. So we don't really see these all that much, but most of them are marine species. So here is a marine species, and there's actually 7 of these that actually make this luminescent balm. So they have these little sacs that produce this luminescent material, and they can actually release them, and it thinks it distracts the predators, maybe even startles the predators, so these guys can swim off. So again, you can see down the bottom left-hand corner picture there is a phylogenetic tree suggesting this thing evolved once, and now we see it in 5 of the 7 relatives. So this is a way that something can evolve. If it gives you a huge advantage or even a slight advantage, it can show up in future generations. And again, we just want to show you that it can happen twice. This is a little bit different. Hymenoptera, not all bees, wasps, or ants can do this, but several different groups. have produced a glue. Yeah, a little bit different. You know, these are more, these are terrestrial, so I'm not sure the fluorescent bombs work as well. But they produce this liquid that is very sticky, and you see here a spider comes up and tries to attack it. The glue gets on their feet, and they can't move, and actually could actually kill them. So again, another defense mechanism. Again, probably some kind of mutation that gave these guys an advantage. So I want to kind of think about that when we see all these um, techniques for survival. They're all evolutionary. They all have had some driving force.